We always thought it was going to be easy to have children when we wanted to. My mom had 6 children, and we never thought it was going to be difficult or this difficult to get pregnant. Does that sound familiar to you? Well, that sounded familiar to Raeanne. She was 28 when she contacted me, and no one would have thought that a 28-year-old who seemingly was healthy would have difficulties getting pregnant and staying pregnant. When she reached out to me, she had been trying for 5 years without success. 2 miscarriages, a handful of IUIs, and a lot of frustration and up and downs. And this is like so many women and couples who join my Hope Fertility Coaching Program. They never thought it was going to be that hard. And like many other members of my Hope Fertility Coaching Program, functional medicine was not the first choice for them. So I want you all to listen to her story in her own words, and I'm going to interject with my thoughts because I want to walk you step by step what my findings were, what we did for her, and what the results were, because I do think this could be super helpful and impactful on your fertility journey as well. But before we get started with hearing from Raeanne, I do want to just give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, Fairhaven Health, for not only sponsoring the video and making it possible for me to create this for all of you, but for the awesome supplements that they produce like FH Pro for women. It's one of my go-to multivitamin fertility support vitamins that I recommend for women. And if you want more information on not only this product, but all of their products, you can use the link in the description below to check it out. My name is Dr. Marc Sklar, also known as the Fertility Expert, and welcome to Fertility TV, your YouTube channel dedicated to helping you get pregnant. I've been helping couples from all over the world for over 18 years through my online coaching programs and right here in San Diego at both of my clinics using natural reproductive functional medicine to support all of you to get the best results and hopefully the fastest results on your fertility journey. And Raeanne was one of those who was able to get the results that she wanted by joining me in my Hope Fertility Coaching Program, like many of you potentially out there who want additional coaching. So I want to invite all of you who need a little bit more support, who want me and my team as your personal coaches to guide you privately to get the results that you're looking for, to apply to see if you're a good fit to join the program. All you have to do is use the link in the description below. So now let's hear directly from her. She's going to share her story. I'm going to press pause and I'm going to interject where I think it's appropriate. So let's get started.
Well, it was about 6 years ago. My husband and I decided it was time to try to have a baby. And we thought it was going to be easy. My mom has, she had 7 easy pregnancies. My sister has 2, and we didn't really anticipate having issues. So we started trying. It was about 18 months in. I got pregnant the first time. I had a miscarriage. About a little over a year later, I started having IUIs done at a local clinic. And those, the first one was unsuccessful. The second one lost that baby. And then we did about 4 more and got to the point where they told me I needed to change medication, do things that were more invasive. And I just felt like that wasn't the right thing. I couldn't shake it. And I don't really remember where I first heard about you. It was a webinar, a fertility webinar. I think you were talking about recurrent loss specifically. And I really liked your manner, and the things that you were saying made sense. And so I did some research and I eventually said, okay, I need a consult with this guy. So, we started working together, got your input on what was going on, and here we are.
So I want to pause there for a second because I think this is really an important piece. She did what all of you should do. She did what we started where most of us would start. She went to her OB. Well, first she started trying. She was trying for a bit of time without success, or actually in her case, she got pregnant but had the loss, unfortunately. She kept trying. She went to go see her OB. They ran a little bit more tests, and that's where they started to do IUIs, which is potentially an appropriate place to start. But here's what often happens when we start there, is we don't end up doing significant testing. We don't end up doing appropriate testing to find out why we're having these losses. I mean, she was 28 when she started seeing me, which means when she started trying, she was much younger. We shouldn't have losses at that age, and we shouldn't have difficulty. But to their credit, I mean, typically with one loss, we all don't get wrapped up in a lot of testing, and we do start to move forward. But when you've had that length of time like she's had, where you're not having successes, or in her case, she had the second pregnancy with the IUI, that was successful, and then unfortunately she miscarried again, that is the time where we need to start to take a step back, evaluate what we're doing, and run appropriate tests to find out why. The typical approach moving forward is to say, well, let's just push you towards IVF because we're not getting results with IUIs, but it still doesn't answer the question. Even if IVF is appropriate in her case, and I don't believe that it was at that moment in time based on her age, her ability to get pregnant, and the lack of testing, we didn't have answers as to why she wasn't able to conceive. And that's really what needs to drive our decisions moving forward before we start to invest a lot of money, time, energy, and emotion into procedures that may or may not be what we need specifically. One of the beautiful things about the functional medicine approach and functional reproductive medicine approach that we take when we coach our couples is that we're looking for root causes. We're trying to understand why we're having the issues that we're having, and that's going to dictate the plan that we're going to create for all of you, which is exactly what we did for Raeanne. So she knew inside that she needed something else, that she needed more comprehensive support, which is what she sought after and why she reached out to us. And that's the same thing for many of us. But what we found out in her testing was that there were a significant amount of things that needed to be looked at and addressed and should have been looked at earlier, but weren't. So I'm gonna kind of list some of those things right now so that you understand the sorts of tests that we did and what we found for her. So first and foremost, with her and with anybody, we want to do a comprehensive hormone panel to just get a baseline for where she's at. And in her case, a lot of those things actually came out just fine. But when we started to dive deeper into some of the labs, because they were appropriate for her, they're not appropriate for everybody, that might be showing us root causes for recurrent pregnancy loss, that's where we started to have answers. So her anti-nuclear antibody, ANA, was positive, and that's just a general marker for potentially autoimmune issue. It doesn't tell us exactly where the issue is. It just gives us a general marker that tells us we have to look deeper and try to run more tests. But that already starts to raise a red flag as to what's going on. Additionally, I did run some different genetic tests for her, MTHFR and factor V, both of which came back positive as well for her. Her homocysteine levels were elevated, which means she has more inflammation as well, which is very common to see when we have positive MTHFR genetic markers. She also had quite a bit of stress, but which you can imagine after 5+ years of trying with multiple miscarriages and multiple IUIs, like any of us would be stressed under that. So we have to account for that. And she had a history of digestive issues. And because of that history of digestive issues, we ran a more comprehensive stool test to find out what was really going on digestively so that when we made her plan, we could properly support her. So that's a lot of information, right? That's a lot of findings. That starts to dictate how we're going to support her and all of the couples that join our program. And this really starts to dictate all the changes that we're going to make for her, whether it's dietary changes, a whole comprehensive GI support plan. We have to support her immune system. Those genetic markers that came up for her also show that she has a propensity to blood clotting. So these are things that absolutely need to be supported and addressed. And she was gung-ho and really awesome about doing everything we recommended. So we laid out that plan that went over lifestyle, dietary changes, the supplements she needed, and she followed it to a T. And she followed it, I think it was for about 6 months or so total before she actually got her positive pregnancy test.
Working with you was the start of, it was a massive turning point for on a lot of different levels. And it was the first step that I needed to take, I think, in really changing how things were going and figuring out what needed to be done and what needed to be addressed. And it really was.
This is an important key step in changing things for her, right? She recognized that if she kept doing the same things that she was doing and going down the same path that she was going down, she wasn't going to get different results. So she knew she needed change, but she also knew that she needed proper guidance to get that change, which is what we were able to provide for her. It also wasn't for her as if we just created one plan and she was able to follow it and then there was no changes that needed to be made. As we make progress, as our body changes, as we improve our health and our reproductive function, then naturally we want to follow that progress. We want to run additional labs to make sure you're achieving that progress and then modify the plan to accommodate for that, which is what we were able to do for her periodically over time until she finally got that positive pregnancy test, and then obviously supporting her through that pregnancy to make sure she had a healthy delivery, which she did. And this is exactly what we do in our Hope Fertility Coaching Program. We create comprehensive plans and support you from beginning to end. So if you're interested in joining the Hope Fertility Coaching Program, I want you to understand a little bit more about it. Everybody who joins it gets a private one-on-one consultation with either me or one of my team members to support you. And this is where we dive deep into your specific case. We get a full medical history, review all your lab work, we go over it comprehensively, and then we tell you where we think you're at right now. And if there's any additional tests that we might not have thought of before, then we talk about what additional testing we think you need to incorporate as well. And then once we have all of that information, then we're able to take that and create a customized, personalized plan for you based on our findings. That includes everything from lifestyle changes to dietary modifications to timing of intercourse and how to track your cycles, supplements. We try not to leave anything out, home therapy techniques as well. It's as comprehensive as we can get it because we want you to get results and get them as quickly as possible. And then we meet with all of you weekly in our group coaching that happens once a week. And you come in, you update us on your progress, we review your progress, and we make modifications as needed. And there is actually so much more. So if you want more information on the full breadth of what the program offers and what's included in it, then I want to invite you all to apply for a discovery call to see if you're the right fit for the program and so that we can answer any of your questions. And all you have to do is use the link in the description to apply. All right, it's that time in the video where I want to hear from all of you. I want to know, what did you find interesting, valuable, and important by listening to Rayanne's story and listening to me tell you what we were able to do for her? Comment below and let me know. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're not already a subscriber to my YouTube channel, you need to be. So hit that bell to subscribe and get notified when I put out another video for all of you. And until the next video, stay fertile.